I'll be the first to admit, when I saw Mario holding a tennis racket in the 40th anniversary direct instead of a basketball or a wooden bat, I thought it might be time to trade in the Switch too. While I've never played a bad Mario Tennis game, I've never really played one that blew me away either. Fun enough for a couple rounds here and there, but besides some extreme ball paths, they haven't had the variety of Mario Universe gimmicks that differentiate the video game from the sports you can play in real life. Nothing special stood out to me in that original trailer. I thought it'd be another generation of Mario sports mediocrity. Till I saw that overview trailer a month before the game's release. Apologies to Mario Tennis Fever, I was not familiar with your game. I'll be damned if I didn't make a video talking about what I wanted to see out of Mario Baseball just for them to seemingly do it all with tennis. Of course, it's easy to make it look good with a trailer. It's a different story when you actually get your hands on the game. Well, I finally have, and I must say, after logging some hours, I've been enjoying the Mario Tennis. But not so much Mario Tennis Fever, leading me to wonder if in Nintendo's attempt to justify the $70 price tag, the game actually turned out worse. I'll start with the good. Seeing 38 characters accounted for on the home screen launch day was music to my ears. No Wave 1 bringing essential characters later this year, a couple omissions I'm curious as to whether they could come later, but if this game never gets updated, it already has almost everyone's go-to. Instead of opting for all of these characters to have unique abilities, the ability lies in the fever rackets you choose to play with. Whether that be covering the stage with bananas, returning shots with bullet bills, or simply going invisible, it provides more of the whimsical nature that makes Mario sports titles more than just their respective sport. Where skill took precedent in the previous entry, the competitive landscape now takes a back seat, which is reflected in the gameplay. The ball is bigger, it's floaty, the game forgives being out of position, and most importantly, I don't have to explain how to earn and conserve super meter to someone who just wanted to play a quick match. It's apparent this game is meant to be more approachable for the masses, an entertaining party game first and foremost, but not to the point that it becomes RNG or eliminates a high skill curve. The different shot types still exist, some fever shots can be returned, so it's not just a matter of who chose the correct racket. Stage-based hazards aren't present in normal games, it still panders to a competitive audience that'd like to beat their little cousin every time they play. If your little cousin lives in another state, you still have all the options of local multiplayer available to set up a lobby. If your little cousin's busy, there's even ranked formats for Fever Racket and non-Fever Racket single and doubles. It's truly ranked too, not like other Nintendo games where the more you play your rank just continues to go up. Considering the core gameplay, there's not much else I could ask for. Exactly what I wish I had during those COVID college apartment days. But Nintendo knows just as well as I do that Mario Tennis by itself is more like a $40 game. However, they're pulling out their favorite plumber to sell this game. They want to get as much as possible out of it. Which is why I can understand the thought might be to include as much as possible in an attempt to meet the expectation of variety found in a $70 title. Now, it's not much extra effort to include ring challenges, basic game modes like that we've seen in the past, might as well throw them in. They decided to add some special courts where you get bounced around like a pinball or collect Wonder Seeds while playing, but at the end of the day, they're just alternate ways to play the same thing. However, long gone are the days where video game characters hitting tennis balls is groundbreaking enough to demand top dollar, which is where the adventure mode comes in. But not just any old adventure mode, possibly the worst I've ever played in my 25 years of life. Now, if you've never played a Mario Tennis game before and happen to have a couple loose screws up top, the Mario Tennis Academy story is perfect. For everyone else, the first 2 hours will drive you insane. You're transformed into Baby Mario and drilled on the most basic of Mario fundamentals to work your way through the Academy. Essentially the unskippable bonus footage tutorial where they treat you as if you've never used a controller before. You hit the A button 5 times, Toad makes you run halfway through a facility to catch tennis balls with a basket. You hit the A button 5 times, run to the other building to take a quiz. Blue Toad's like, I bet you can't hit the A button 5 more times. You get a sticker, rinse and repeat. You're teased with a beautiful overworld sprawling with characters, but all anybody has to talk about is tennis tips. There's no plot development taking place. Feels like the Tennis Academy exists strictly to drag out your playtime, and I can't blame someone for calling it quits because there's not much to look forward to afterwards. Even if they gave you a placement match to skip a couple ranks, or the option to opt out of this tutorial section entirely, the rest of the adventure is just another 2 hours of easy tennis matches, walking linear paths, and one-dimensional boss fights, telling a story that'd make you think Super Mario Sunshines was peak literature. Which is a shame, because the idea of a Mario Tennis RPG, which it portrays at the very beginning, feels like a great idea. But it's apparent Nintendo had no intent to spend more resources to make this anything besides an additional mode to kill time. Leading me to wonder, why pursue one at all? What's so wrong with just some Mario Tennis at $40? It's evident Nintendo feels the price tag is pushing it just by the home screen packed with everything possible, trying to make it seem like it's a vast game when it's really just tennis. Quick play tennis, special tennis, multiple rounds of tennis, tennis drills, just swinging the Joy-Con is its own mode as if it's not simply a control scheme option. If tennis is all they got, that's fine, but it's the age-old story of quality versus quantity. And for a game to cost so much, people are going to hold the entire game to that standard. Bright ideas for new modes are welcome additions, but they should be lower on the priority list if they are more features than they are focal points. Very few decided to purchase Mario Tennis Fever because it has a Piranha Plant Court mode, yet I imagine quite a few made their decision not to purchase, hearing that it'd be more fun to twiddle their thumbs than play the story mode of a $70 game. While I love a good adventure, it doesn't come without a cost. Development time, monetary resources, whatever it may be, they obviously didn't attribute enough. Which frustrates me when I see modes such as Trial Towers and think, damn, they really added 100 trials while sitting on a story mode you could beat in 30 minutes if they were to introduce a fast travel system. I can decide between playing as Petey Piranha or Piranha Plant, but I haven't heard a new line of dialogue out of the Talking Flower commentary since my first 10 minutes with the game. Feels like they spread themselves too thin with everything outside of the Mario Cast playing Fever Tennis, but are still charging more than almost all of their last-gen games as if all of these extra features are fully fleshed out. If Nintendo charged $40, even $50, these unpolished extras would simply be something players might give a chance. Certainly not deal breakers as long as they deliver on the core gameplay. Instead, they doubled down, ingraining them in the game, in turn dragging the game down with them. When you first boot it up, over half of the stages, as well as numerous rackets, characters, and character color variants are locked behind conditions that demand more than simply playing your preferred method of tennis. There are no alternate methods. If you want to play with the Poke Racket, you'll have to make it all the way through the story's painstaking tutorial. If you want to play as Wiggler, you'll have to play Co-op Ring Challenge. In the same way it wouldn't make sense to lock Dry Bones behind getting first place riding a moped in Mario Party 8, I should be able to play Mario Tennis to unlock almost everything in Mario Tennis. Not like this is a new concept for those additional characters to encourage players to check out more of what the game has to offer, but for over half of the content to be locked behind different modes, it begins to feel like a chore. And this game has no reason to feel that way. There are so many neat touches, so many great ideas in this game. I would have loved for Mario Tennis Fever to be refined in the lab another year, but they feel confident enough in the good parts. And that'd be fine, assuming those are the only parts we're paying for, even if that means the story comes out later as paid DLC. Instead of simply embracing the good, they attempted to put on a facade almost anyone could see through, bundling $40 worth of Mario Tennis with numerous extras, leaving them to continue fighting a greedy Nintendo narrative. Now, I'm not one to propagate narratives, but I have been known to narrate 10 other videos much like this one in fact. I'd say odds are good you'll see the 12th if you do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Or you could let the time my fiance spent playing Mario Tennis Fever on Valentine's Day just go to waste. Either way, you have a good one.